One of my best ways of gardening and playing with plants is the combinations. It's much like what type of cushions do you put on your couch? And should they remain the same forever and ever and ever? Well, of course they don't. In 1 month, big leaves are in, the next month proteas are in, and the next month squares are in. So we change them. And much like we change our interior and the spaces where we live in, so too can we do that within our gardens. But find the right plants. And it's about the right plants in the right place where things sometimes can go a bit haywire. So to give you a really good example of plants that work together, and one of the most commonest plants that we've all seen in gardens, we've seen them growing wild in flays when we're driving along the highways, is the varkoor. That's its Afrikaans name, and its English name is the beautiful arum lily. They can cope in dry and with wet feet. And there are very few plants that can cope in both of those conditions. But whether you've got a dry garden as well, like underneath these trees, they just love it. And look at the size of these guys. And they really don't get that much attention. But the beauty of this big leaf with the little spades that push up through them, and they do that continuously right throughout late winter, early spring, and right through the summer. And they're just going to carry on popping and giving you loads of love. The other thing about these guys is that the bigger they get, of course, as good gardeners, we know I can dig that up and divide it and move it to another place. You can also grow it from seed. So once these guys have died off, you'll find in the spade yellow seeds. And you can take those seeds and sow them like you would sow a normal packet of seed, and up you will get some beautiful baby arum lily plants. So in terms of these little guys over here, what maintenance do we need? Well, very little. If you live in the cold areas, they will die down. They will die down completely. But the thing is, because they've got a big, big bulb, as the temperatures start warming up, so they push through again, and that's often when you get the most spectacular foliage, those new little guys unfolding, and it really does bring about that feeling of spring and all the longevity that is coming from them. And here, the only maintenance that I really do give these guys is when we have a few torn leaves, and this is just wind damage. And very often people will say to me, oh, there's something been eating them. Or now eating them is a hole through it, like mechanical. You can see it's quite methodical. Imagine a little caterpillar that's been chewing in little circles around and around. But this damage over here is simply wind damage. You can either choose to leave it or you can take it away, depending on the neatness, fanaticness, that word, of what kind of a gardener you are. And all it is just take the leaf and pull it down, and as close down to the stem as possible, just a quick cut. And you'll see, have a look, it's very, very fleshy. And that's why with wind damage, they sometimes do fall over and their stems bend quite easily. So it is important that you just keep an eye on them for that. But combined with it is where it really does come to life, is this beautiful begonia. I've got two different types in here. It's the big leaf pink, which is this guy over here, and then I've got angel wings, which is actually called pink, but it's more white. Don't really matter about all the fancy names. What's important is that they work for you and you love them. These flower non-stop, absolutely non-stop. They just go and go, giving us great amount of color, because as the one flowers, the head of the one flower starts going off, so the next one just seems to be pushing through. The bees love it. Butterflies are often seen just hanging around here and enjoying it. And from a maintenance perspective, these guys also very, very easy to look after. All it is a good mulching, and that is all the leaves that come from above me. They're not raked up, they're just simply blown straight into the beds, because this decomposes and ends up forming a beautiful leaf mold. Every now and then, these guys get a bit tall, you know, like us, we need a bit of a haircut. And all that you would do is find something that's looking a bit scraggly and just give it a light pruning. Because then what we're doing is regenerative pruning, and we're forcing the plant to send up new growth. But this, for me, is a great combination. Begonia, big leaf, pink, and angel wings with our gorgeous indigenous arum lily. Mulch plays such a critical part in keeping your soil warm during the winter months and retains water during the hot summer months. It also stops weeds from germinating